Welcome to the Growth with AI podcast. I'm Peter Martinson, and today's episode dives into how artificial intelligence is redefining growth hacking, digital marketing, and customer acquisition. Our guest is Jonathan Aufray, the visionary co-founder and CEO of Growth Hackers, a global growth marketing agency that helps startups and scale-ups accelerate traction through data-driven experimentation, performance strategy, and creative automation. Jonathan has been at the forefront of blending AI with growth marketing using machine learning, predictive analytics, and automation to identify opportunities, optimize campaigns, and scale results faster than ever before. We're going to explore how AI is changing the fundamentals of growth hacking and what it means for the future of digital strategy. Jonathan, it's great to have you here.
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. So tell me your story. How did you get started doing what you're doing now and doing it in Taiwan?
It started, I would say, like maybe around 10 years. Oh, how I got to Taiwan, it started a long time ago because I used to live in many different countries. I'm originally from France, but I used to live in the US, the UK, Ireland, Australia, and I met my wife when I was in Australia, and she's Taiwanese, so that's why I moved to Taiwan around 12 years ago now. And about marketing itself, during all my travels, I always worked with small and medium-sized businesses. And the thing is, when I was in Taiwan, I joined a startup at the time, so maybe 8 or 9 years ago now. I joined a startup in Taiwan, so we got our funding here, and then we moved to the UK because we got accepted to an accelerator in the UK. And the thing is, by working at a startup in Taiwan and then in the UK, what I found is startups are great at building a product, an app, whatever it is, but they don't know how to market it, how to get traffic, leads, users, downloads, whatever. And so the thing is, one of my team members and myself, we are like, okay, there's like an opportunity here because what we do is growth. So we decided to create Growth Hackers. And so we created it 9 years ago now. And first initial idea was to help Taiwanese startups to grow globally. The thing is, we pivoted almost instantly, maybe 3 or 4 months after the start of Growth Hackers. Why? Because the startup ecosystem in Taiwan is very small. It has nothing to do like London or the Silicon Valley or any other places that you can think of. So my co-founder and I, we knew pretty much all the entrepreneurs and startups in Taiwan. So there was no way to grow ourselves really. And so the thing is, the pivot that we did 8 or 9 years ago was to help advanced startups, small and medium-sized businesses to acquire the traffic, users, and sales. And the three main regions that we work with are North America, Western Europe, and APAC. And yes, that's pretty much the story.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay. So you said that Taiwan actually doesn't have a huge startup culture or startup scene?
No, not at all. It's really small because in Asia, whether it's like for entrepreneurship or expats or startups, is going to be more like Singapore or Hong Kong, or it could be Dubai, or it could be Bangkok. But Taiwan is more famous for chips, so it's more like traditional kind. Even if it's tech, it's still kind of traditional kind of industry, not really startups.
Interesting. I had no idea. So, okay. So when your agency Growth Hackers applies AI with clients, what's the biggest pitfall that you encounter? Data quality issues or misusing models or cultural resistance? And how do you overcome that?
No, the main pitfall that like a lot of entrepreneurs or companies fall into is they take AI or automation the wrong way because they are like, okay, everybody's talking about AI, let's implement it. But us, we're like, that's not how it works. What you should do is like look at your business or look at your processes, look at what's repetitive or what you spend like 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month, and that AI can use. So always look at the problems and then use AI rather than like, okay, I want to use AI because everybody is using it and then try to implement it is not the right way. So it's the same with automation. Is like a lot of people, they want to automate things, and but automating a process, it takes like dozens of hours. It usually takes weeks, sometimes even months. So the thing is, you should never automate something that you didn't test out, that is not working, because people, they're like, oh, I want to automate, I don't know, content creation, but the content you are currently creating is not working. So automating it's not going to do it. It's not going to do anything, So you should, so it's like first create content manually. If it's working, then find a way to automate it. Or it could be customer experience or any kind of process. If your customer experience is bad, automating it's not going to make it better. It's probably going to make it worse. So first, make sure that whatever process is working and then try to automate it rather than going the other way around.
That's a great point. Yeah, I can certainly imagine how people would just jump onto the AI bandwagon because their competitors are doing it and not do it correctly.
Totally.
But you're right, automating a bad system probably just makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're going to spend 3 weeks automating something that was not working in the first place. So it's like, yeah, there's zero chance it's going to make it better. So you're going to lose 3 weeks plus few more months where this automation is delivering bad results anyway. So there's no point in trying to automate AI or trying to automate processes that don't work. And for example, like I remember I was working with a plastic surgeon a couple of years ago, and just when ChatGPT got released, he told me, "Oh, let's put ChatGPT on our website," and because everybody was talking about ChatGPT, and I told him no. It's like, especially at the beginning, it was hallucinating so much. I was like, in the medical space, it's extremely dangerous because if like a patient's going to ask you a question and your ChatGPT answer something completely wrong. On top of it, it was in the US. In the US, you like to go to court or to sue people for any kind of reason. So like in the medical space, that would be so risky. So I told him, like, don't want a bot, like especially at the beginning of ChatGPT, to talk about medical stuff when you have no control over it. That's the goal of AI. You don't really control it. So yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be careful to not jump on the bandwagon too much or too quickly.
Yeah, there was that really infamous case in Canada where somebody asked the Canadian airline chatbot about a refund policy, and it made up a policy. And then the Canadian court said that the airline had to follow through with what the chatbot said because it was their official communication.
The thing is, like, if you ask a question to ChatGPT or one of those ones, they never tell you they don't know. It never tells you. It never you answer a question, like you ask a question that is very complicated. It will not tell you, "Oh, I don't actually know." No, it will give you an answer and making and like giving you fake sources and say, "Oh yeah, that's proven," even if it's completely wrong.
Yeah. So even with that though, people want to use AI. I'm curious,
Yeah.
how do you use AI in your agency, and what tools do you currently use to
Okay.
automate those repetitive tasks?
Okay, so we use ChatGPT for content ideation. We use Midjourney for visuals. We
Uh,
use Sora, lately the Sora, but VO3 for video editing. But like all those tools are really AI, but the tool that we really like the most is automation rather than AI. It's us, we prefer make.com, but there's also N8N or many other tools, but we like make.com internally because the advantage of automation is like you connect all those tools together, and that's where the productivity gain is huge. Because the thing is, AI is going to make you maybe 20 or 30, maybe 40% more efficient. But automation, it's a multiplier. It's a multiplier by 3 or 5. So the thing is, if you are able to combine AI plus automation together, you are not 30% more productive. You are 15 times more productive. And so what we do is really use AI for content creation, content ideation, all this to be a bit more efficient, but automation is where the magic really happens. And I believe like not enough people talks about automation enough. Everybody talks about ChatGPT or Claude for AI, but automation is, in my opinion, where the future is really going.
Yeah. So I use N8N. I haven't heard, what was
Yeah,
the other one you mentioned?
make.
Make. Okay. I've
But
not heard
it's
of
easy. There's three: that N8N, Make, and Zapier. It's
uh
easy because Zapier is the easiest one to use,
Yeah.
but you are quite limited in what you can do with it. N8N is probably the most technical tool to use, but it's probably almost limitless what
Mm.
kind of automation you can do. And Make.com is in the middle. It's not as, maybe not as advanced as N8N, but is also more user friendly. So it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah. Fascinating. So I used Zapier 8 or 10 years ago, basically just to connect databases so you could push data from one place to another. But yeah, wow,
Yeah.
fascinating. So have you had any issues with those? Have you had problems or things go wrong?
The thing is, it's like it goes wrong while once it's set up, it's working fine.
Mhm.
But it's more like when you create the automation, there's a bug or there's something wrong and you can't figure it out why, because it doesn't tell you what exactly why there's a bug, it just doesn't work, and sometimes it's just like, I don't know, you didn't check a box or whatever, but so it takes, I don't know, 10 hours to find a small bug sometimes.
Mhm.
And then once it's fixed, it's working. But it's the same, like with those automations, the problem is the same as when you code like an app or a website or something. Once the automation is done, if you want to go back and to change a little bit, it's kind of risky because you're going to change a little bit, but actually breaks the old automation, or like, I don't know, the AI is going to become a bit too creative. So it's same as when you build an app and then a new engineer comes in, he makes one, I don't know, he adds a line on the code and the whole app breaks. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the same with automation. It's like once it's built, try to not touch it too much, I would say. Try build a new one.
So do you have developers in-house that do all the work for you, or do you hire that out?
Both, because that's funny because who like brought me or like to this automation make.com and is my former co-founder, because the former co-founder of Go Cycles actually creates his AI automation agency. And so he contacted me like, I don't know, a year ago or something to show me some automation. So he started to create some automation for us. And then what I wanted to do is learn, because I like, before hiring anyone about a certain task, I like to know how it works. I don't need to go to too much detail. But then once I was aware about how it's working, then I had some people in my team train for it. So I like usually to enhance or upskill the skills of my internal team before hiring, because I keep telling people, is like, you have to learn AI, you have to learn automation, you have to learn those things. So they're interested in learning more skills. So I have two people in my team who are also working with me on those automations.
Gotcha. That's awesome. So looking ahead, which AI trend or capability are you most excited about, and how are you preparing for it?
For me, it's the video. The video, because as the video, like what Sora and VO3 can already create, it's amazing. The only problem is It's still not that easy, I would say, to create such videos because usually the output is not what you imagine. Uh, but like, and the videos are a bit too short, like 8 or 20 seconds. But in my opinion, the next 1 year or 2 years is going to be really amazing. And that's going to not only disrupt social media or marketing, but it's going to disrupt, like, I don't know, creating a TV show or creating a movie or special effects. I don't know, many other things. So anything about videos, that's really, I think, we are just starting. It's already great what they're doing, but in 2 years, even more in 5 years, we have no idea where it's going. So really, the AI videos or video AIs is what I want to see what they're going to create.
So didn't Netflix just announce the creation of an entire new like AI driven production company that they're running?
I didn't hear about this one. I've heard two AI stories. It was like, I think it was in the UK. I might be mistaken. It might be somewhere else, but I think it was in the UK. They made like a AI TV anchor. So there was like a documentary. I don't know what it was. It was fully presented by AI. And
Hmm.
they just say at the end, so nobody realized it was AI because it was so well done. Yeah, at the end, she was like saying that, oh, by the way, I'm AI. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. And also I've heard a story in Hollywood, I think, where like a studio created this AI actress and she already got a role or something for some kind of like a movie, or it might not be it might not be a Hollywood movie, but like a lot of actors in Hollywood were complaining because AI was taking their job already, and that's just starting. But I haven't heard about Netflix, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, in your view, what is the single most important skill or mindset that marketing teams must develop now to stay competitive in the current AI environment?
The thing is, like me, what I like to go back for the mindset to offer is like the first marketing lesson I ever had was more than 20 years ago now, where my first marketing teacher told me, at the time, he told me the thing about marketing is everything that you learn now is going to be outdated in 5 years. And that applied 40 years ago, that applies 20 years ago, that applies now. And I would say that's the same with AI. So you need to keep adapting, keep learning, whether it's a new tool, a new technology, a new strategy, whatever it is. But you can't stay static. You need to keep learning because, like, for example, I was talking about some tools earlier, but we don't know if in 5 years any of those AI tools will still be there. There will probably be new ones that didn't even start yet. Same when I started marketing, there was no Facebook, there was no Google, there was none of those. 5 years ago, there was not even TikTok. So it's kind of like, and in 5 years, I'm sure there will be some new platforms that didn't even start yet. So it's like you need to have like to keep growing both professionally and personally, but you can't stay static.
Just continually reinvent yourself.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's really some great insight there. Um, so do you have any stories that you know or just really stick out to yourself about the work you've done or a client or the result from a project you were working on?
Uh, well, this is a project where, like, maybe I can tell you about a very recent project, like a project that we are working with. I'm not going to go too much in details because I don't want to tell the client's name, but it's a law firm. It's a law firm so from the US, and it's a B2C law firm, not B2B. Most of them are B2B, but it's a B2C law firm in that case. And what we did is we took like they didn't really get leads, they didn't really get clients. And so the thing, but they tested a lot of marketing in the past. So what we did is we took a deep dive on what they did in the past instead of creating something new. And we analyzed this data and we found a lot of quick wins from campaigns from like 9 months ago or 2 years ago that actually the previous agencies that they were working with didn't see there was really good potential
Hmm.
because they were running 10 campaigns, but one was working, but they didn't see it. So what we did is we look at the previous data and creating campaigns according to this. And the advantage of AI combined with data and automation in this case is we can replicate such a campaign in a much, much faster way. Something that would take us 2, 3 months before to test, it takes us, I don't know, 10 days to create, test, gather data, collect and scale. So it's kind of like the speed of execution is so far. And so far the collaboration is going well because they didn't expect to have that many leads.
Fantastic. That's great. So getting into wrapping up, what do you want people who might hire you to know about you and your firm?
But the thing is, like, I would say two things because there's two things that I would say where we are different from other agencies, and maybe the other agencies tell you the same thing, but like they don't. It's not true. One is we really care about the clients, but we care about the clients before we actually work with them. And what I mean by this is, for example, if a lead contacts us and they say, "Oh, I'm interested in getting more sales for my e-commerce stores," whatever, we are not going to give them a proposal like any other agency do. What we're going to do is for 1 week, we are actually going to take a deep dive on their e-commerce stores, their competitors, etc., and come up with specific tactics and strategies. And we do that completely for free. And it's not like the same audits that every agency takes like 5 minutes to do in the sense. It really takes us like literally days to do it. And if they like it, they can work with us. And if they don't like it, they can do it in house or work with another agency. We don't it doesn't really matter. Or even if they like it but they don't have the budget, they can still implement those tactics themselves. So that's the first thing is we really want to make sure that before we start a collaboration, we are on the same page with the strategy. We know the business ins and outs before. It doesn't take 3 months after the collaboration and we still don't understand what they're messaging or what they're doing. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is we how do you say we practice what we preach. And what I mean by this is like many agencies, for example social media or SEO or whatever, they tell you, oh, for your company you should, I don't know, you should post every day on LinkedIn and Twitter, whatever. But as an agency they don't do it themselves. So I'm like, it's weird that you're a Twitter marketing agency and you don't have a Twitter account, and so it's kind of like it's just weird. So us, we practice what we preach. So usually any tactic or any campaigns that we run for our clients, we already tested it out for ourselves, so we know it's working. We don't make like very risky test on our clients. We prefer to do it on ourselves, and then we take the best and apply it for our clients.
That's great. Fantastic. Practice what you preach. I like that.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, Jonathan, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And I know I've learned some things. So thank you. And, good luck in your journey. And I can't wait to see where you move after Taiwan.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not planning to move now anytime soon, but you never know. But thanks for having me again, Peter. It was really a pleasure.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.